free agency is underway. They are making a trade for Davon, Godchaux, and they watched Paulson and Adebo sign with the Giants on a 3-year deal worth $54 million. That's $18 million per year, $36 million guaranteed. Let's start with the trade. I kind of like this deal for them. They need to get better run defense. They're moving to a 3-4. He is a 3-4 nose. He is essential to the scheme. I think it's a nice little upgrade and a good move to start free agency. A 7th-round pick going back to the Patriots to get their new nose tackle for that 3-4 base defense. And I think immediately he's slotting in as a starter.
Yeah, he's slotting in as a starter for sure. I mean, I'm not super thrilled. Like, they didn't just trade for Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel like the Commanders or something. They added a 8-year veteran nose tackle who pretty much only plays, on rundowns. But the price is going to be right. He's going to redo his contract. So I think it'll be more affordable. It's a 7th-round pick in 2026, which is basically, I consider it basically like the Patriots cut him and the Saints signed him. They got a guy that they obviously identified as a piece that will help them run the defense they want to run. So all of that is good. And he's been one of the best in the league at doing that. Looks like they've also, we haven't confirmed yet at the time of the show, it looks like they're also extending Nathan Shepard. So it's a couple of big pieces of defensive tackle that obviously Brandon Staley has identified that he wants in the middle of his base defensive front. So, I like that they're getting guys who fit their system and that they have a plan for it. That's definitely the best part about it for me.
Yeah, look, again, though, essential guy for the scheme. Like, you got to have it. Their run defense has been
run defense has been
really poor. Yeah, and this is at least a start to it. You get a guy that kind of fits that. And they aren't going to cost much, so I think it's a big win for them there. Now, what is the plan, though, at cornerback? I mean, that's really something that they got to figure out. Like, is it Asante Samuel Jr., who's a free agent? He played with Staley with the Chargers. But they definitely got to find that other corner somewhere. I mean, I don't think you want to go into the season with just Kool-Aid and Alante. I think you need that other guy. And I think you're even better if Alante can play on the inside. I mean, Staley's done a really good job with the star position. He played Ramsey there, like, his best corner in LA. We've seen, I think, Alante play his best football in there. Like, I think if you can keep him in there, that's where you're going to be your best. So I would like to see them get that other corner. I know they wanted to keep Adebo, but he ultimately ended up taking this $18 million per year deal with the Giants. Good deal for him. I mean, we kind of thought for a minute he was going to have to do a prove it with that crazy injury.
It's not a prove it deal.
And he proved he's doing backflips on the timeline. Like, he's ready to go. So, he looks good, and good for him to get that money.
Yeah, it would have been great if the Saints would have somehow gotten some sort of hometown discount on Paulson Adebo, but I think he deserves it, so I'm not saying that, but I'm glad the Saints aren't paying that. Like, I want the Saints to start saving some money and thinking about the future. That would have been a lot of money to spend on him. And yeah, it's going to be tough. That biggest question to me is what do you do with Alante Taylor? I mean, we've both had the opinion in the past that we thought Alante Taylor would even be better on the outside. And that did not prove out on the field last year. He has been better on the inside, so that's a tough decision for me. If you feel like he can be good on the outside, you can get a nickel player for cheaper, a better version of Ugo Amadi. I mean, who are some of the best ones I've had? You could probably get.
Yeah, they get like 10.
Yeah, you can get a good, solid veteran to play nickel for under $10 million a year. If you believe on Alante on the outside, if you're moving Alante back to nickel, then I think you have to spend some real money to have another outside corner, because they only have one on the roster in Kool-Aid. They have 2 of their 3 pieces on the roster. They do not have a third. Now you can also draft one high in the draft, but I think you would have to. I think you have to add a third starter among your 3 cornerback positions in free agency, and not just count on the draft as your way of making that happen. So it becomes a huge priority now, I think. Bring back Isaac Yiadom.
Don't you think Paulson, though, like at $18 million would be kind of frustrating?
Oh yeah. Look, I called Paulson Adebo the defensive MVP 2 years ago, maybe the team MVP 2 years ago. I think he had a fantastic season, but I do not want to be the team paying. It's very similar to the Chase Young conversation. I don't want to pay for the potential and the upside. That is a talk yourself into all the good things you've seen from. But there's buyer beware with Paulson Adebo, and maybe he'll finally do it. because he has shown the ability to be elite at that position.
He's awesome until he isn't.
Incredible inconsistency.
He's awesome until the 54-yard PI penalty. He really is. I was frustrated with him last year, so this isn't just like, you know, I didn't want to play him at a point last year. Like he was frustrating to watch. At $18 million, I think he's very frustrating to watch. But look, I think he's good, and like you can clean some of that stuff up. So we'll.
And unless we see something drastically different from Alontae Taylor this year, I don't want to be the team paying him next year for the same reasons. Hopefully this new system, new coaches. I just spent some time talking to the new cornerbacks coach that they have, got from Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think was a great get for their staff. Getting Alontae Taylor in the final year of his contract to finally deliver more consistently on his potential is one of the most important things this team can do this year. Just became even more important today.